At the 2026 Winter Olympics, Norway won 41 medals, 18 of them gold. One athlete, Johannes Høsflot Klæbo, swept 6 gold medals alone, more than most entire nations. The United States, with 60 times the population, finished 8 medals behind. A country of 5.5 million, Norway is dominating world sport at a scale that defies explanation. The question is not whether Norway wins, it is what they have built that nobody else has. At Milan Cortina in 2026, Norway's performance did not just top the table. It shattered expectations. 41 medals, 18 of them gold, from a nation with fewer people than Minnesota. The numbers alone seem almost implausible. Johannes Høsflot Klæbo, still only 29, swept every men's cross-country event, 6 gold medals in a single games, a feat no Winter Olympian had ever touched. His victories stretched from the individual sprint to the mixed team relay. Each finish line another blow to the idea that population size predicts sporting power. The United States, with more than 300 million people, finished 8 medals behind. Norway's per capita medal count soared to over 7 medals for every million citizens. The United States barely reached a tenth of that. This was not a one-off. Norway's all-time Winter Olympic medal tally now stands at 447, nearly 120 clear of Germany and the United States. In cross-country skiing, biathlon, ski jumping, and Nordic combined, the Norwegians have become the standard every other nation chases. And still, the most striking part is not just the medal haul, but the method behind it. How does a country this small produce not just one generational star, but a conveyor belt of champions? The answer lies far beyond the podium. To understand the scale of this anomaly, you have to look at what is happening off the snow. In kindergartens, in village sports clubs, and in the quiet rhythms of daily life, where the seeds of world-class performance are sown long before any medals are won. Norway's grip on the Winter Olympics did not begin in Milan Cortina, nor is it the product of a single generation. The evidence stretches back over a century, written into the official International Olympic Committee tables. Since the first Winter Games in 1924, Norway has amassed 447 medals, more than any other nation in history, and nearly 120 ahead of both the United States and Germany. This is not a pattern of isolated peaks, but a sustained domination. The numbers grow even more striking under a microscope. Of those 447 medals, the lion's share comes from the Nordic disciplines: cross-country skiing, biathlon, ski jumping, and Nordic combined. In cross-country alone, Norwegians have climbed the podium 148 times, taking home 68 golds. Biathlon adds another 113 medals. Nordic combined and ski jumping contribute 74 and 64, respectively. No other country approaches this depth or consistency. Across 24 Winter Games, Norway has not only led the all-time medal count, but has also topped the medal table at 3 consecutive Olympics: Pyeongchang 2018, Beijing 2022, and Milan Cortina 2026. The last nation to achieve such a streak was Germany, nearly 2 decades earlier. The pattern is clear. Norway's dominance is not a statistical fluke or the result of a few transcendent athletes. It is a phenomenon anchored in system and culture, repeated across generations, and visible in numbers that outpace much larger nations. To understand how a population of just 5.5 million can so reliably produce this scale of success, the investigation must move beyond the medal counts and into the fabric of daily Norwegian life, where world-class performance is seated long before the first race bib is ever worn. In Norway, the freedom to move through nature is not just a tradition, it is protected by law. The Outdoor Recreation Act of 1957 enshrines the right to roam, granting everyone access to forests, mountains, and coastlines for walking, skiing, or simply being outdoors. This legal guarantee is more than a policy. It is a cultural foundation that shapes daily life from the earliest years. The word friluftsliv, open-air living, captures this ethos. It is a way of life that begins before children ever join a sports club or put on a numbered bib. Nowhere is this more visible than in the country's network of outdoor kindergartens. About 30% of Norwegian kindergartens operate primarily outside, with children spending up to 80% of their day outdoors, no matter the weather. On a typical winter morning, toddlers are bundled in wool and waterproofs, building snow shelters or gliding on skis behind the playground. Kari Lunde, a kindergarten director, puts it simply: our children learn to glide on snow almost as early as they learn to walk. The hill behind the garden becomes their first ski slope. This daily exposure is not just about play, it is about building a lifelong habit of movement. The right to roam ensures that every child, regardless of background, grows up with nature as their playground. By the time organized sport begins, the foundation for physical literacy is already set. Participation is not a leap, but a natural step in a life spent outdoors. Organized sport in Norway begins with a set of rules that look almost upside down to outsiders. Children under 13 play without official scorekeeping, public rankings, or league tables. The Norwegian Olympic and Paralympic Committee's regulations prohibit national championships for anyone under that age. Instead, the focus stays on sampling as many sports as possible, not on specializing early or chasing trophies. More than 93% of Norwegian children between 6 and 13 participate in some form of organized sport, a figure confirmed by Statistics Norway surveys and among the highest in the world. The system is powered by volunteer coaches, most of whom are parents or community members with minimal formal training. They receive basic certification, but their primary job is to keep sport fun, safe, and accessible. Costs are kept low, often under $1,000 per year, and clubs routinely swap or lend equipment to families. The absence of early elimination or selection means that children who might be late bloomers are not pushed out. By the time talent identification begins in earnest, usually in the mid-teens, the country has preserved a vast, diverse pool of young athletes. This approach is not about producing champions at age 10. It is about ensuring that as many children as possible stay active, motivated, and healthy for the long term. Olympiatoppen began as an answer to a simple but stubborn question. How can a country of 5 million keep outperforming giants? Founded in the late 1980s, after Norway's medal returns dipped below expectations, this high-performance hub took a radically different approach. Instead of isolating elite athletes, Olympiatoppen built a network that ties together sports science, coaching, and local clubs. Biomechanics, nutrition, physiology, and psychology operate side by side, tracking each athlete's progress from adolescence to the Olympic stage. Annual reviews published openly measure everything from injury rates to training efficiency, feeding a loop of constant refinement. Regional centers in Oslo, Trondheim, and Tromsø keep the system close to home, linking national expertise with the realities of local snow and club life. The model is deliberately multidisciplinary. A cross-country skier might work with the same nutritionist as a rower or a chess grandmaster, drawing on a pool of expertise that stretches across disciplines. As one lead sports scientist put it in a 2022 interview, "We're not chasing medals. We're building people who can perform year after year." Olympiatoppen's structure ensures that scientific rigor is not a privilege for a few, but a resource embedded in the journey from grassroots to gold. Every year, Norsk Tipping, Norway's state-owned lottery, channels nearly $400 million into the country's sporting bloodstream. This money does not just trickle to the top. It is spread across more than 12,000 clubs, supporting everything from remote ski huts to urban football pitches. The funding formula is bluntly egalitarian. Grants are tied to club membership, not to podium finishes, and there are no cash bonuses for medals. Even Olympic champions receive only a modest annual stipend, about $16,800, rather than the windfalls seen elsewhere. The system is designed to build a wide base, not reward a handful of stars. This approach has produced a generation of athletes whose names now echo far beyond winter. Erling Haaland, a product of Brine FK, became one of the world's most feared strikers. Karsten Warholm, who first trained as a decathlete in Ulsteinvik, shattered the 400-meter hurdles world record. Victor Hovland and Casper Ruud have both climbed into the global top 10 in golf and tennis, while Magnus Carlsen's reign in chess is funded through the same public pipeline. At the Paris 2024 Olympics, Norway's 26-medal haul across rowing, athletics, and handball confirmed that the nation's sporting might extends well beyond snow and ice. What links these stories is not a single training center or a secret coaching manual, but a durable flow of resources that keeps entry costs low and opportunities broad. By investing in participation over prizes, and by refusing to dangle short-term rewards, Norway has built a system that sustains excellence across generations and across sports. The evidence is everywhere, from the smallest club to the brightest world stage. Norway's results aren't a statistical fluke. They're a warning shot across global sport. When participation outweighs prizes, the smallest nations can lead the world. As others chase medals, Norway invests in identity. The real question now, who will be brave enough to follow that blueprint? Share your thoughts below.